This is a CC Radio podcast.
The weekly show where we discuss our favorite things from popular culture. My name is Kay.
And my name is Troy. Thanks for joining us. This week we are slinging webs all over the place as we compare and rank all the Spider-Man movies. But before we do that, there's a couple of things that you guys can do to help support the show.
The first thing you can do is leave us a 5-star review on iTunes saying all kinds of nice things.
Absolutely. Or you can visit patreon.com/ComicConPod and help us support the show that way, just like a young man by the name of Lenny Salter did. And that's why we're doing this, because he's a $10 patron and he wanted us to do it.
He's one of those rich boys.
Yeah, exactly. What's the last thing they can do?
The last thing you can do is join our listener community on Facebook, so simply search Comic Confidential Listener Community. Answer one question. And the question is, what's the name of our damn podcast?
You tell me, pal.
Because we don't know.
Yeah, like, could someone tell us?
Yeah,
we just do this every week,
yeah.
And somebody else does everything else.
Yeah, it's good.
We don't know what it's called. I'm going to assume it's called Two Fat Guys, Two Mics, and occasionally a comic book.
Two fat guys in a pizza place.
Two fat guys eating pizza, and there's sometimes like a baby around.
There's a baby tonight.
There's a baby tonight. We got a baby in the studio, you guys.
Yeah.
We don't. It's on one of those monitor things. I don't know how babies work.
I'm playing dad.
It's like a robot baby. Is that how they work?
Yeah, I bought it from Mattel.
Yeah. It's like one of those baby borns.
Yeah. It's, you know how there's baby dolls that like do shits?
Yeah.
Why does anyone want that? It's like, oh my fucking god, I have to clean real baby shit. And
Well,
it's kind of like, why? Why would you go make a doll that does fake shit?
Here's the thing. I can see how that would work for maybe expecting parents,
Yes.
to potentially train and, it's kind of like get used to what's coming. But why those are marketed towards children themselves is absolutely beyond me.
Yeah.
Unless it's a way for parents to get their other young children to be slaves, to like change all the nappies and stuff like that, maybe.
You would never trust a child to do that.
I would never trust you as a grown man
Exactly.
to do that either. But here we are. We have a child together, apparently, for the night.
We're just two dads.
That's the name of this podcast. It's called Two Dads. Anyway, this week is all about everyone's favorite web-slinging, wall-crawling, man-animal hero, Spider-Man. And it's a twofold reason as to why we're going to rank and compare all 7 major Spider-Man movie releases. 1, because Cade's favorite season, Oscar season,
Oh, yes.
is officially over. And we can now say congratulations to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse for winning the Best Animated Picture Oscar. And 2, that's the second reason, is that it is Lenny Salter. He is a $10 patron. He gets to choose an episode, and this is what he chose.
Yeah.
And who are we to say no to somebody as beautiful, handsome, lovely, and everyone's favorite, Lenny?
Wow.
Yeah.
Just putting every other Patreon member on blast and say, look, guys, I know you try,
Look, you guys try,
but you know Lenny.
but you're not Lenny, are you? And until you are, this is his show. So anyway, this is how it's going to go. All right. We've got from Spider-Man in 2002 all the way to Into the Spider-Verse. We've got 7 movies we're going to discuss. We're basically going to do it. We're going to talk about the movies, how they did critically, how they did financially, what we like, what we dislike, and then we're going to rank at least 3 of them.
Okay. You know what's really interesting, though?
What?
Is you've reviewed 2 of these movies.
Correct.
And you loved them both
Yeah.
on your review, so I'm ready to whip out the old fake fan
Why?
on you if you change your mind.
Oh,
Because
yeah, okay.
look, Troy, it's well known within the podcast community.
As a whole,
Other podcasters are talking about you, Troy.
I'm sure they are.
They're
What are
like-
they saying?
Oh, they're like, ooh, those Comic Confidential boys. One of them is a fake.
Are you sure they didn't say one of them is fat?
Look, they said that.
They said that too.
I excluded that, but thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
But they said you're fake.
Look, I can't be fake. How can I be fake?
Oh, boy. They're like, he goes back on what he says.
I keep it as real as I possibly can. As I said last week, if you're just joining, if this is your first episode, last week I said this, hey, maybe don't listen to my first review.
Because I'm a liar.
Because, I tend to go into something and, I might love it and then later rewatch it and go, ooh, that was actually pretty terrible. Like, say, I don't know, Suicide Squad. Yeah. But sometimes I might just see shit and know it's shit and call it shit. Like, say, The Predator.
Wow, Troy. I can't believe you would say that about such a high-quality movie of 2018. Quite disappointed in you.
Okay, well, I'll say it about Aquaman then. Happy?
Ooh.
Yeah.
What are you saying about Aquaman?
That it's shit.
Oh! Exclusive.
Look.
I can't even fathom this.
Fathom? Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, because it's underwater? Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, I got it. Look, it's not great. Let's be honest. Shit is probably a bit harsh.
Yeah, but you said it.
But it's, but I can go back on things now. I'm fake. I can do whatever I want. But yeah, look, it's, it is what it is. But we're not talking about Aquaman. We're not talking about goddamn The Predator or any of those bastard people that bring out like subpar / potentially shitty movies. We are talking about Spider-Man. And sometimes he brings out shitty movies too. So let's get stuck into it. Spider-Man 2002, the OG.
The OG. Now, this was released very early on in the comic book movie, I guess, era.
Yeah.
It's one of the first. So it was probably this and X-Men.
Yeah, X-Men 2000.
Was it?
Yeah. And then, I think Blade was like in the 90s. So Blade's probably like more the pioneer of them all, if any.
I guess you would say that. But I feel like Spider-Man really kicked everything into the other gear.
Well, this new kind of thing, because I know there are people right now, right this very second as they just heard that sentence going, are you guys forgetting Batman 89, you fucking heathens? Or, what about Spider-Man, Superman 78? And it's like, well, this is a different era. This is the new era of comic book movies. They belong in a different time.
What would you call that? They were the golden age and we're in the silver age.
We're in the golden age.
Are we in the golden age?
1,000 times, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. We're in a metal age.
Whatever the best metal is, like, that's where the best stuff belongs. And we've got the best stuff now. So we could even be in the platinum age.
Wow. We're in the double platinum.
We're in the double platinum age, and those guys are back living in the gold age.
They're still on cassettes.
Yeah. So, look, Spider-Man 2002, obviously directed by Sam Raimi, the whole trilogy was, starring Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, Willem Dafoe, and James Franco.
Oh, yeah. Now, this is when James Franco did other roles.
Yeah, not just being James Franco.
James Franco. Now, when did James Franco become James Franco? Immediately after this.
Pretty much, yeah.
Once he got Hollywood.
Yeah, after Spider-Man 3. He's just like, don't you know who I am? I'm James Franco. And then that kind of, he's like, hang on, I'm James Franco. And he's like, I can just be James Franco.
I'm the fucking Franco.
And that's what happened. So, yeah, anyway. So that's a thing. Pretty well-reviewed movie, this one, obviously.
Yeah, I reckon so. So 7.3 out of 10 on IMDb and a 90% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, question, do you think this movie will get a 90% in this day and age?
That's a loaded question, pal.
Yeah, it is. Because I'm going to do this for all these movies because we're comparing older movies to newer movies. So,
yes. Are you saying that this exact movie is released now?
Yeah.
Then no. Because it would have 2002 effects.
Well, no. It's modernized.
It's modernized.
It's remade shot for shot, but modernized.
But with the same actors and actresses? Then
Same
that doesn't
dialogue.
work. Because Tobey Maguire was 40 when this movie came out.
Doesn't matter.
He's 60 now.
It's Hollywood.
Tobey Maguire's a 60-year-old man.
Hollywood magic, mate.
All right.
There was talk of him becoming the Batman.
Seriously? No.
Yeah, I want that.
Don't do that. God, don't do that. Yes, I think if in this magical world where you can use the same actors, but everything is modernized, yeah, why not? What do you think?
Yeah, I think he'll kill it, man. I mean, this was a really good rendition of Spider-Man, and probably I'm gonna say early on one of my favorites.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
that's a spoiler.
That's a spoiler
for the end of the show.
The next seven movies that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you'd say another 4.
Yeah.
But this Spider-Man, I really liked him. I mean, Tobey Maguire wasn't a good Peter Parker.
Yeah.
But he was a pretty cool Spider-Man.
Was he?
I liked him. I thought he was good. He was clever. And this is like one of the Spider-Mans that is actually kind of smart.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he invents his. Well, actually, no. This is Spider-Man has like organic fluid.
Yeah.
and kind of broke all the rules.
Yeah.
And I dug it because it can't. That makes more sense to me than a teenager.
As a spider, though, like realistically, shouldn't the webs come out of his butt? Shouldn't they?
Well, look, who's to say that he doesn't now poo out his wrists?
That's a scary thought.
Yeah. Have you ever thought of that?
I haven't.
Yeah. And now,
Literally, my mind has never gone there.
well, now it has.
Okay. Thank you so much. Financially, $139 million budget, $829 million worldwide gross.
In 2002,
In
Troy.
2002. That's a $2 billion movie
That's
these days.
a $4 billion movie. This
It's
is
an
the biggest-
$80 billion movie. This is
least.
the Amazon Prime of, not Amazon Prime. What's that guy? Jeff Bezos, the Amazon dude. My whole point for that joke was that it's worth a lot of money, okay? And I bombed it.
Fair enough. You absolutely did. All right. Let's move on very quickly so no one continues to laugh at you.
Sure.
Give me some pros and cons from this movie.
Okay.
Shotgun 'em. Shotgun
Simple
'em.
for me. Pro, it's the original. It's the OG. It
Yeah.
kind of kicked off all the Spider-Man movies. Without this one, we might not have the others.
Absolutely.
Who
You're
knows?
correct.
So, without that. Cons, Hero by Chad Kroger and Josie Scott was
You
from
don't
this
like
movie.
that.
That song is garbage. Just like every other Nickelback song out there, it is
Ooh.
trash, my friend.
Do you not even, don't even play that you don't like Nickelback?
I
At
don't
least
like
a little
Nickelback.
bit. Even a little bit?
No, there is not a single Nickelback song that I'm a fan of.
Wow. I don't believe you. I think you're lying.
Okay, look at this photograph.
Yeah?
Right? It's of me hating Nickelback.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you. You're like literally pouring gasoline on all those Nickelback albums.
Yeah, exactly.
You really
all right,
don't like
pros
it.
and cons from you, go.
Kirsten Dunst. Amazing. I think this started my infatuation with redheads.
Cool, okay.
I think it's why I married a redhead.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Really, really cool Green Goblin.
Yeah, okay. Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe didn't even need to have that mask on. He could have just painted his face green.
Yeah.
And that would have been scary.
that would have been good, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I don't know why they didn't do it.
Because it would have looked like shit.
It would have looked scary.
They might have tried to do that in the 80s, probably.
Maybe.
Yep. Con.
Con is... Ooh. The younger actors looked about 40.
Yeah.
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 This is that weird Hollywood era where Hollywood thought they could still get away with putting 30-year-olds as 16-year-olds
Yeah, yeah.
when they didn't even look close to 20.
Well, I've got something I really want to say about that for the next movie we're going to talk about, which
Ooh.
is Spider-Man 2 from 2004.
Okay. Directed also by Sam Raimi.
Exactly. Starring also again, Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco, and this time we've got Alfred Molina in it as Doc Ock. How's it doing critically?
So it has a 7.3 out of 10 on IMDb and 93% certified rash on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Financially, $200 million budget and $783 million worldwide gross. So obviously not as financially successful as 2002 Spider-Man, but still quite good, obviously. Now, this is the consensus, or not the consensus, you can't really say that anymore, but this is one of, and has been regarded as one of the best superhero movies of all time.
I'm going to agree.
Yeah?
Yeah. This had a really, really fantastic villain in it, which is something is pretty rare to get in any kind of any superhero movie.
Okay. But let me ask you this. What were his motivations, Cade?
His motivations were driven that the machines took over his brain. So,
Cool villain, man.
very cool villain. However, but it's just,
No, that's it.
It does all right. But we haven't got anything like that anywhere else since, really.
Yeah. Ultron.
I
To a
guess,
lesser extent.
But Ultron's like an actual machine.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So this is kind of like technology's taken over a person. And because after it, when he's defeated, spoilers if you fucking haven't seen this movie,
Yeah, God.
he's not actually a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's like actually tormented by everything that he's done. And he's like, oh my God, I'm a fucking dickhead.
Yeah, he's just trying to change the world. And then what happened? He changed his brain. And he became a bad dude.
And look, we've all been there. Like we've all been overtaken by our octopus tentacles.
Yeah, I mean, I watch enough. I was going to say Japanese porn. But I won't. Hey,
Are you saying you don't watch enough?
yeah, I don't watch enough
Okay.
Japanese porn with octopus tentacles. Hey, pros, cons. What do you got? What's a pro?
Or has to be the train scene.
Yep.
Like, that is one of the most iconic scenes in any superhero movie ever. I'm going to say it is probably the most iconic scene out of any superhero
I would agree, but this is where I wanted to jump in with your 40-year-old actors and stuff like that. Because this scene...
Because I feel like it's the scene almost right after this.
So once he actually stops the train and he kind of collapses and they pull him inside and he doesn't have a mask on anymore. And there's like, some guy's like, he's just a boy. And I'm like, that is a 40-year-old man. That is not a boy. Troy, at what point do you stop becoming like a boy and become a man is what I want to know.
He's Spider-Man. He aged 20 years in that one scene. That's how stressful that was.
That's not a power Spider-Man has. I don't know why that's a thing. He's just like, do you know what I'm saying though? To actually, who is filming that, right? Sam Raimi. And who is going, all right, here's Tobey Maguire. He looks like he's 100. But the line I want you to say is that he's just a boy.
But to make it even better, we're going to put 2 actual boys next to him that are about 10 years old.
Yeah. And he's going to look 50.
Yeah.
At least with Tom Holland, and we'll get to that at some point. Tom Holland does look like a boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If someone said, he's just a boy, you'd go, hey, that kid's a boy. Not like that kid is a 66-year-old man.
Fair enough. Now, one thing that kind of makes me question this movie.
Yeah.
The awesomeness around it.
Yeah.
Is, okay, Doc Ock, he makes these arms.
Yeah.
How did he get clearance or permission from the city to make practically a black hole in New York? I feel like he's doing something on the sly here.
I can't answer that. I think that's probably just movie magic.
And why is it in a rickety old fucking boat shed?
Well, maybe that's the only place he could. Well, wasn't that a byproduct of something else that he was trying to do anyway?
Was it?
Like, wasn't it necessarily like that wasn't what was supposed to happen, but that was a,
It was like unlimited energy.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, now there's a black hole.
Oh.
Now I've got octopus arms.
Yeah.
Not real octopus arms. If you haven't seen this movie, they're mechanical, all right? Also, if you haven't seen this movie, go see this movie. Something that is often forgotten is the fact that this movie actually won an Oscar.
Did it really?
It did, and that was for Best Visual Effects.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? You know the scene that did it for him? It's the scene where Kirsten Dunst is hugging a mannequin with Spider-Man suit on it and pretending to swing.
That was the first movie.
Oh, was it the first?
Yeah.
No, I'm sure it was the second one.
No, it was the first one because that was the whole Green Goblin coming into the parade thing.
Okay.
And that movie lost the Oscars for Best Visual Effects,
probably
because of that scene. No, the scene that probably sold it was the train scene again.
Yeah, definitely.
Where they managed to somehow digitally remove 3 of Tobey Maguire's chins.
Wow. You and Tobey Maguire, you have beef with him, don't you?
I like the guy.
I don't think you do.
He seems like a nice 40-year-old kid. Look, Spider-Man 3. We'll move on. 2007, this came out. Again, directed by Sam Raimi. This was the trilogy that some people think Andrew Garfield probably should have gotten, but he never did. But this one is a trilogy. Starring Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco's back, Topher Grace is in it as Eddie Brock, and Thomas Hayden Church as Flint Marko / Sandman.
Yeah, now this one is the one that people question.
Yeah, it's one of the ones for sure.
Yeah, so 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb with 63% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
At least it's fresh.
Still fresh.
Still fresh, baby.
By 3%.
Yep.
$258 million budget, but did bring home $890 million worldwide.
Absolutely. This movie, you know what? I feel like I need to kind of really dig into it a little bit.
Okay.
Just purely because I think that there are some things that get a lot of shit that probably shouldn't. I guess what I'm talking about is one of my pros is actually the whole emo hair dance scene walking down the street. Yeah, that's probably Tobey Maguire at his best, right? And the reason I say that is because that has aged better. And I don't know if the internet has helped that age well, just through the use of memes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I appreciate it more. But that is one of the things that I think has aged quite well. even though it got quite a bit of shit back in the time. One thing that didn't age well, though, is the Venom, obviously.
I don't think it's that bad.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you have a look at the Venom that came out just recently, and
Which you loved.
which I do love. But I honestly, I feel like the visuals aren't that far apart. Because Venom...
Oh, come on.
No, seriously, go back and have a look. Because I feel like Venom can only look one way. And they're so close. Like, the one in the newly released Venom movie is gigantic.
Yeah, which is right.
Which is right. But the one in Spider-Man 3 only looks scaled smaller.
Maybe it's more Topher Grace as Eddie Brock.
You know what? I was really excited about that because that was the phase when I was like doing a super That 70s show binge.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is like back in the day when I bought like physical media.
Oh, DVDs.
Yeah, DVDs.
Oh, man, I love me a DVD.
It's actually pronounced divs.
Divs. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, so
Didn't know that, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. And like not many people do. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
Okay.
But yeah, I had like all of them. So I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm so rad for this.
Yeah, I'm so rad for this.
Yeah.
It was 2007, man. No one was saying rad back then.
Everyone was saying rad. I'm bringing it back.
Everyone in 2007 just running around like, oh, man, I'm so rad for that Spider-Man movie. Ooh, while they're on their skateboards, just...
Scooters, Troy.
Scooters.
Razor
scooters.
Don't let it hit your shin or your ankle. It's instant death.
Yeah, definitely. So what's a pro for you on this?
Oh, I'm gonna get some shit for this.
Yeah,
but I do love the scene where we have MJ caught in the taxi in all of Venom's web.
Yeah,
on the construction site.
Okay, is that what happened?
Yeah,
yeah. Okay,
and he's kind of like using her as bait to catch Spider-Man.
Yeah, and
it's just like really, really well done. Like I remember the tension was high, man.
Yeah, that whole scene was pretty good. I'll give you that. Cons?
It's a perfect movie.
Fuck off.
Look, okay, maybe the casting for Venom wasn't great.
Yeah.
But they did give him like a pretty realistic, like true to the comics backstory and how he does have this hate for Spider-Man. I just wish there was more about the symbiote and how that came to be.
Yeah, because it's just like, oh, here's the thing.
Yeah, here's this fucking little black ooze that's crawling
Where'd this
around.
come from? No one knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the con is that wasn't, I guess, flushed out enough. And it could have been if they didn't have Sandman in this movie.
Okay.
Because all that extra screen time that you gave to Sandman, just give it to the Blade symbiote.
Yeah.
Maybe let Eddie Brock go investigate that this thing has come to Earth.
At least, at the very least, he didn't look like Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock, which just looked like a dirty, unshaved, like wearing a hoodie with like wristbands while he's interviewing like, I don't know, for council officials. I don't know. It was weird. Con for me would be that this is the second best on-screen Venom that we get.
Wow.
And that is not a good thing.
Damn, you're savage, man.
I am savage. Let's move on, shall we?
You
ready to move on? To 2012 and The Amazing Spider-Man. Now, this was directed by Mark Webb and starred Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, and Rhys Ifans, or Ifans, I don't know how you pronounce it, no one cares, as Dr. Kirk Connors, or the Lizard, as it were. Yeah? Yeah.
7 out of 10, IMDb. 72% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. That can't be right.
You think that's high or low?
I think that's high. So $230 million budget and brought home $757 million worldwide.
Yeah. You know what? I fucking really like this movie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is a really, really cool version of Peter Parker.
72 is way too low. How this movie got 72, and I've seen this movie recently, so don't at me, you fucks.
Adders.
you goddamn, you're pressing your at buttons already, trying to like
opening up their Twitters.
Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I have seen it recently. I think Andrew Garfield was a great Peter Parker.
Yes.
I think his Spider-Man was the perfect mix of like kind of like part tortured, part like just wisecracking nonstop, which I thought was cool.
I felt like he was trying too hard to be too funny.
Nah.
I do.
No way.
Yeah, way.
At least with Tobey Maguire's, like Tobey Maguire barely spoke when he was Spider-Man.
Yeah. However, Tobey Maguire was a tortured Spider-Man. This Spider-Man isn't.
Why? I don't know if you've seen this movie or not. He literally spends the entire movie trying to chase the guy who killed his Uncle Ben.
Mm.
No.
Does he live on his own in a share house?
No, because he's still like in high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not like out living in New York because they're like, we have to do this because Tobey Maguire looks too old to be in high school. You know what I mean? He's still in high school.
Progression, Troy.
But yeah, so like you can only be so tortured as a teenager, but he literally lost both his parents at a very young age, and then he grew up with his uncle and aunt, and then had to almost basically watch his uncle get gunned down in the middle of the street. What do you say about that? Pretty tortured, mate.
Nah, not as tortured as Toby.
What did Toby do?
Toby's the most tortured person out there.
Might look like he's the most tortured person out there. And then you got to give it up to Emma Stone, who is probably like, if there's a person out there that doesn't like Emma Stone, I'll fight them.
Do it. I'll fight you. We'll gang fight them.
We'll gang fight them. That's a gangbang, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like when.
Well, actually, that's technically the correct term. You know, we're a gang and we're banging.
Not in Australia, it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I will fight you. You can at me.
At him for that.
At me for that. Emma Stone is remarkable.
Yeah, Emma Stone kills it in no pun intended, but that's in the next one. But yeah, she's absolutely fantastic in these movies. She's almost make these movies fantastic just on her own.
Well, I like the fact that they actually went down the Gwen Stacy route and didn't try to redo the whole MJ thing again. Because it was so close between, Spider-Man 3 and this one.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it was really good to move into that. The movie suffered a bit from a bit of a shit villain. And that would be my con.
Yeah.
That the lizard was
gigantic.
Well, it was still a bit like shit looking.
It was shit looking.
You know what I mean? It's 2012.
They could have done better.
We've had Iron Man movies.
I was going to say, yeah, we've had a huge array of like Marvel produced movies.
We've had 4 years of Marvel produced movies. We could have done better than what the lizard looked like at times. But it's also one of my favorite Stan Lee cameos.
Oh, what was it?
It's where they're fighting in the library.
Is that in this one?
Yeah. He's got the headphones on.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
you don't hate him for that one, hey?
I don't hate him at all. I never have.
Mm-hmm.
Just once upon a time, I said, "Hey, maybe no more Stan Lee cameos."
And now you're not.
And now
how do you feel?
And now I don't get any more ever. And now I cry myself to sleep every night. Is that what you want to hear? Yes, I cry myself to sleep every night because once upon a time I said no more Stan Lee cameos, and now he's dead.
Wow.
Happy? I'm going to go cry now. Anyway, pro and con for you for this one.
Yeah, look, it's the villain in this movie.
Yeah.
It's just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I know it's a comic book movie, and we have a man who's fucking powered by spiders, radioactive spiders. He eats them.
Yeah,
that's the only way the Spider-Man lives.
That's not a thing.
No,
if you haven't seen,
I'm pretty sure.
If you haven't seen the Amazing Spider-Man, that does not happen.
I'm pretty sure
he doesn't eat spiders.
Pretty sure he does.
Maybe he does. I don't know. Maybe I missed it.
Maybe. Yeah. I think it's a pretty crucial scene. I don't know how you missed it in this movie.
Anyway, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
like it is. It is a pretty shit villain.
Absolutely, and I feel like he gets bigger and bigger every time you bloody see him.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, let lizards grow, but he's a man. He's a lizard man. It's ridiculous. I want pictures of Spider-Man.
Did you just grow a mustache?
Yeah, I did.
Just like out of nowhere.
Suspenders just popped on.
Yeah, it is weird because lizards aren't necessarily huge.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, I don't know why this lizard man is so huge.
It's like Dinosaur Man, maybe?
Maybe.
But you're Lizard Man.
I will give a pro to Andrew Garfield. I do like him in this role.
He's great.
I'll give a pro to Emma Stone.
She's
like
amazing.
Her as Gwen Stacy. And yeah, definitely a con for the villain. Let's move into The Amazing Spider-Man DOS.
Oh,
as it was probably called.
I think it was.
Some Latin American countries.
In most, I would say.
Possibly.
Yeah. So, directed by Mark Webb, starring basically everyone as before, except this time it has the inclusion of Jamie Foxx as Electro.
It If I could, anyway, let's just move past it. We'll get into it at some point.
So this has a 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb, which is way too generous.
Well, no, we'll talk about that.
Okay. Has 52% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is rotten.
Yeah. I would agree with anyway, keep going.
Okay. Now, the budget is kind of iffy on this one.
Yeah.
Because you got Jamie Foxx in, and Jamie Foxx is like, hey, man, I'm Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
You need to give me all the money.
Yeah.
I made a record, and I have to pay for it because no one bought it.
Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever listen to that?
I did not. He was in some good stuff, like as a
supporting singer?
Yeah, as a supporting singer.
In Gold Digger.
In Gold Digger. In
Gold Digger?
Yeah, he was in
The
Gold
remix?
Digger as well, yeah. What's that other Kanye West song that he was in? It was Kanye West, Jamie Foxx, and Twister. I can't for the life of me remember. Anyway, you keep talking, and I will try to think of that.
Okay. I'm sure everyone's like just waiting to hear about this.
Yeah.
So the budget was estimated between $200 and $219 million, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Did bring home $709 million worldwide, though.
Yeah.
So here's one thing that you can kind of like rest easy on is that any money you invest in a Spider-Man movie, you're going to get back.
You're going to get it back. It doesn't matter what you put on the screen, Jamie Foxx. You are going to get that money back. Electro might go down as one of the shittest villains of all time. Hey, did you know Jamie Foxx won an Oscar for acting?
Oh.
Did you know that? Because that happened.
He was the slimiest, most disgusting person I've ever seen on the screen. And look, if that's what they're going for, they did a fucking great job.
But who said that? Like, did they just go, oh, hey, we've got Oscar winner Jamie Foxx in this movie. Let's just let Jamie Foxx do whatever Jamie Foxx wants to do.
It's like, look, I'm balding and I'm going to have a really gross comb over.
Yeah.
I need Coke bottle glasses.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had like prosthetic teeth.
I think he did.
And
those are Jamie Foxx's real teeth. He always has prosthetic teeth in. He just pulled them out for this movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And he's just going to like wear an overall that doesn't seem to fit him properly.
Yeah.
Even though it's overalls.
Oh, God, I hated that performance so much.
This was literally one of the worst things I've ever seen on the TV screen. When you have like Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone killing it in this movie, like we get one of the darkest things that we'll see in any Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Any superhero movie.
And that would be my con for this, my pro for this movie is that this was, it went dark enough to give us, spoilers if you haven't seen The Amazing Spider-Man 2, too bad. It gave us the death of Gwen Stacy, which I think is really bold because while we've seen Uncle Ben's and all that sort of stuff, this is like actually us for the first time ever seeing the death of the first love of Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And it was sad.
It was sad. And you know what? As she was falling down, I was like, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it.
They'll catch her.
And then you hear the crack.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit. They just killed her.
Is she dead? Ooh, damn.
I cried.
I
cried every time.
I cried for the second time during that movie because the first time was when I first saw Jamie Foxx. Yeah.
I thought I just got over my sadness.
Yeah. Now, one thing about this movie is you've got Andrew Garfield, you've got Emma Stone. They were dating at this time. They'd been dating for quite some time, so the chemistry is real. It's real in there.
Oh.
And then there's Jamie Foxx.
Raw.
It's raw. And we did have Dane DeHaan as well as Harry Osborn. So they were really starting to bring something together that we never got to see in a third movie.
Yes, and that's probably the most like criminal part of this because that goblin, did they call him the goblin or was it the Green Goblin? It wasn't really like said, was it?
No, I just got Gobby.
Gobby.
Yeah, Gobby. Yeah, I don't know what they called him.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Super creepy looking.
Yeah, because the reason why I don't know is because I haven't gone back to watch this movie because if you haven't figured it out yet, I hate Jamie Foxx, mostly just from this movie, but maybe just in real life too. Yeah. I don't know. I'm undecided.
Yeah. Maybe if I met him, he could like change my mind.
I don't think he'd be cool.
You don't think he'll be cool?
I think he'd be like, I'm Jamie Foxx, bitch. Get out of my way.
Yeah, true.
Look at my teeth.
And I'll
they're
be like,
perfect.
It's
but they're fake.
Yeah. Are they? Whatever, Electro. Get out of here. And then you'll cry.
Yeah. Let's move on.
No.
Okay, sorry.
Do you remember the scene in this movie where he is fighting Spider-Man in an electrical plant?
Yeah.
And he is then somehow in the city in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because, he's Electro and he can fly.
Yeah.
That's
the thing. He just flies on electricity.
Yeah.
It's in the air.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
I guess it is.
It is. But it's completely possible.
Yeah. But as he was doing that, he was making his own theme song and music.
Was he? Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. It was so fucking bad. I feel like Jamie Foxx came in. He's like, yo, man, I've got a record. Let me as Electro make my own music. I got a synth.
Did you know I can sing?
Yeah.
Did you see the movie Ray that I won an Oscar for and sang in?
No one saw it.
Well, it won an Oscar, so obviously no one saw it.
Yeah.
Can we move on? I don't want to talk about Jamie Foxx anymore.
Okay. Maybe I'm gonna go watch that scene again because it's so bad.
No, I'm gonna watch this movie.
Why?
I'm gonna regret it.
Why?
Well, I just want to see it again.
You're fucked.
Let's talk about 2017's Spider-Man Homecoming, directed by John Watts, starring Tom Holland, Robert Downey Jr., Michael Keaton, and Zendaya. 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb and 92% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. How much money did this thing make?
So this had a budget of $175 million and brought home $880 million worldwide.
You are always going to make money on a Spider-Man movie. Understand?
Just, you know what? Always bet on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Always.
Not necessarily true, because we'll talk about that in a sec too.
Well, that's true.
Correct. Spider-Man Homecoming are really fun.
Yeah, I really like this version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite.
I like the fact that he's a kid.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but he's a kid. And if someone was on a train and said he's just a boy, you'd go, yeah, that's just a boy.
The only thing I do not like about this Spider-Man is that he is so smart but also so dumb.
Yeah.
Because if he's smart enough to make his own little web shooters, he's, you put it down to maturity, I guess.
That's exactly what you'd put it down to, yeah. One thing I forgot to mention about Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker,
great hair.
Super smart.
Yes.
And great hair, but also super smart. Which smart. I think is like something that hasn't been touched on enough. It's like, oh, that kid's clever. But you're like, no, this kid's a genius.
Yeah, he had a scholarship, didn't he?
Well, no, he like basically in The Amazing Spider-Man, he solved the formula to kind of like,
that's right.
And it's like, sure, he fucked up, but he still got there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know what any of those things are.
And to be honest, those scientists shouldn't have just trusted what that kid said.
Yeah.
They should have done their own research.
At some point, you're like, all right, well, you're a 16-year-old kid. I'm not listening to you. Get out of here. Get out of here, you little scamp.
Who's really to blame for that?
Yeah, exactly. Spider-Man Homecoming, man. Really liked the tone. Really liked the fact that it was kind of like it was, a bit of a teen sort of drama-ish type of movie, which I didn't think I'd like, but I really did. Kind of like a high school movie, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of the suit? Because this is the only time where Spider-Man hasn't made his own suit.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who these other Spider-Men are, but they're fucking seamstresses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because you have a look at the suit that Tobey Maguire designed.
Yeah.
And it's like he had drawings fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember there was an Oscar show, Oscar presentation, where they took the piss out of it and Jack Black was presenting, I think, that year.
Yeah.
And they did a rip-off of it.
Yeah.
And there was like 100 suits of Jack Black in different types of Spider-Man suits.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Same thing in The Amazing Spider-Man. No way. Well, maybe he was pretty smart.
He was pretty smart, but it was like 2 seconds of scene of him. Like he sees one thing, he's like, oh, that's cool. He's like looking up pictures of Lycra. He's like, oh, Lycra, everything's Lycra. And then all of a sudden he has made that suit. And I'm like, no, man.
And that's one of the things, man. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
That's so, I know. There's a guy who eats spiders to get spider powers.
No one eats spiders.
That's how he gets his powers.
No one eats spiders.
I'm pretty sure.
Although, as humans, we eat a lot of spiders apparently throughout the year. 8. From sleeping with your mouth open.
I'm sure I ate more than that. I've eaten 8 since starting this podcast.
I got to go out and find some more when I'm done.
Yeah.
So sweet dreams tonight, you guys, as spiders are crawling in your mouth.
If you wake up with abs, you know why. You've been struck by lightning and now you're the Flash.
But you're right, Spider-Man Homecoming, he does. He gets his suit made for him, which makes sense.
It does.
And it is being made by Tony Stark, who makes suits. That's kind of his thing. But my biggest con for this movie is the fact that it relies way too heavily on Tony Stark at some point.
Yeah. And you could put this down to like Marvel overstepping.
Yep.
Because it was a shared project between Marvel and Sony Pictures.
Yep.
So Marvel's probably come in and just said, look, this is ours and we'll put your logo on it.
Yep.
We'll do all the work, but we say you help with the assignment.
Yeah.
However, it's going to be pretty much us.
Yeah.
So that's what is wrong with this movie, is that there is way too much Tony Stark. Would have been cool to maybe have a little bit of Tony Stark at the start and giving Peter a crash course on how to use his suit.
Yeah, I think, I know they're trying to look for, yes, Peter Parker is a kid. Peter Parker needs a mentor, and we don't want to do Uncle Ben.
Yes.
And so how do we do that? And, there has already been, a connection between Peter and Tony in Civil War. So let's just run off that. I think they could have done it a little more subtly without having to have mad scenes of, Tony Stark all the time. But I really did like this movie a lot.
Very good. And what I like about this Peter Parker is that he fucks up more than any other Peter Parker.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a Spider-Man who's actually learning. And you know what's great about that is he has all the tech. He has every advantage over every other Spider-Man, and he still fucks up the most.
He still fucks up the most. And one thing you've got to give mad props to for this movie is the supporting cast, especially Michael Keaton as the Vulture. One of the coolest villains that we've had.
Oh, is he still the best villain? I'm going to say he's right up there.
He's up there. He's up there.
Who's better than him?
Thanos.
Is he though?
Yeah.
I think Thanos would be scared of him.
Nah.
I reckon he would be.
Maybe if he came in screeching like a friggin' vulture, maybe in that one scene that he does.
Look, I'm not going to say Thanos is scared of birds, but
you've never seen Thanos in the same room as a bunch of birds, have you?
Yeah, that's right. That's how we're going to win Infinity War, baby.
Birds, somehow. We do have to move on. Let's talk about the final movie of the 7. That is the latest one, 2018's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, this isn't even live action. And it's like, well, shut up, because I never said it was. I just said the 7 most recent Spider-Man movies that have been in cinemas. So this is directed by Rob Perschietti and a couple of others, because you have to sometimes with these type of animated movies. You can't do it all yourself.
Yeah, because there'll be different directors for different types of things.
Yeah, exactly. Starring Shamik Moore, Jake Johnson, Haley Steinfeld's in it, Mahershala Ali, and Liv Schreiber as well. 8.6 out of 10 on IMDb and 97% certified fresh.
That's a home run there.
That's a home run.
That sounds a home run.
Was it?
Yeah. It did sound like big.
Did it sound big?
Yeah, like it was a big home run. Or just maybe it just went over the fence, just trickled over.
It sounds like, I don't know, baseball, man. Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever you, hey.
Oh, is that baseball?
Kid, you believe with great power comes great responsibility and stuff. $90 million budget. And this is where we're talking about not necessarily making all the money in the world, but $359 million worldwide gross. But it's still, from a $90 million budget, that's a lot of money to bring back.
Absolutely. Now, the thing is, this movie was not marketed.
Oh, yeah.
And it had limited release. Even when it came out, we were in arms. Or hey, wow, how do we see this movie?
Yeah.
When's it out? I had to message Event Cinemas. Hey,
when is this movie coming out?
Yeah, it's is this movie out? And I'm like, yes, you fuckhead.
Come see it. It's only in cinemas for 2 weeks or something.
Get in quick.
And of course, as we spoke about at the top of the show, Oscar winner for Best Animated Picture, and that is not a shitty technical category. That is, that's a good one. That's a big one.
Okay, it's not too bad.
That's the bottom level of the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the entry level.
It's the entry level of, the non-technical awards.
But you know what? It's a good one.
It's a good one.
And this really pioneered that animated style.
Oh, well, you can't say pioneered.
Well,
you can't say pioneered because there hasn't been a whole bunch of other stuff that's come after.
No, but there will be because they've released it. So they're letting anyone use that.
Oh, okay. Is that, yeah.
Yeah, which is so cool.
Yeah.
So you can get plugins now, I believe, because I'm a film guy, Troy.
Oh, totally.
I'm filming stuff right now.
Yeah.
On my audio only format.
That's an actual live picture of your baby in another room. You're not filming that. That's just a monitor.
Oh.
Yeah. That just feeds back images.
I'm not recording that?
You're not recording. No.
Oh.
This isn't some kind of paranormal activity movie that you're making.
Well, joke's on you. That's just a screen playing a movie. I don't even know where my baby is.
Yeah. Okay,
out of mind, out of sight.
That's it. Kids should be seen and not heard, or sometimes not seen or heard. whatever you need to do. So pioneering art style, that's great. Great soundtrack, excellent voice cast, fantastic story. There's not really a lot I can say bad about it.
There's one thing.
Apart from maybe the ending being a little bit, like, it was spectacular looking, but it was a bit of a mess.
Yeah, it was too much.
Yeah.
It was just too much. Like, for an animated movie, it had everything going for it.
Yeah.
And then they do that with the ending. It's just like, oh, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Like, you've Wonder Woman'd it.
Oh, you can't say that. You can't say that they Wonder Woman'd it. Like,
they did.
No, they didn't. Like, it's a different sort of thing because it is animated and because it is so, like, visual and bright and all that sort of stuff. They did it right-ish.
I'm trying to watch you get out of this and explain
but they just did too much.
Yeah.
They just did too much to it.
Less is more, baby.
But it's not just some, like, dark sort of, here's a really dark sort of ending scene with a bunch of fire and you can barely see what's going on.
They just did the opposite.
It's kind of the opposite of that.
Yeah.
There's, like, so much going on, it's kind of hard to see what you're actually trying to look at.
I genuinely wonder if that movie came with a seizure warning.
It should have.
Should have, because some of those scenes were like, oh my God.
I had 2 seizures.
Yeah.
Seizure salads.
Wow. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, that was good.
That was not good. Listeners, at Troy, let him know if that was a good joke because he's losing it.
Oh. Whew. I'm here all day, folks. Hey, don't forget Nicolas Cage was in this movie as Spider-Man Noir. And
loved it.
Fucking made it.
Absolutely fantastic. I loved him as Spider-Man. I don't want anyone else.
Yeah. Okay.
Just give me Miles and
just Miles and Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
All right. So we got to wrap this up.
Okay.
Because we do still have some listener feedback to go through.
Oh yes, I can't wait to rate this.
So what I want you to do now that we've spoken about them all, I want you to give me very quickly your top 3 Spider-Man movies. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, okay.
So number 3 first. That means
Spider-Man 2 from 2004.
Okay.
Number 2 will be Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, yeah.
And number 1 is OG Spider-Man from 2002.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Baby.
All right. Well, I'm going to say this. And I'm going to flip some people's worlds. Number 3.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man. Yep.
Okay.
Number 2, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, and number 1.
Number 1, without a doubt, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
You know what? No one's wrong in this.
No, unless you put Amazing Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3 as your number 1, that's the only way you can get it wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, but that's what we think. What did you guys think? We went and asked the question, basically, what is the best Spider-Man movie and why? And I got some feedback, and Kate's going to basically rate and tell you if you're wrong.
I'm going to say if it's a hit, shit, or split.
Okay. Lenny Salter, obviously. Got to start with him. A, because he's the number 1 comment, and B, because it's his goddamn show. Lenny says, Spider-Man 2, while Spider-Verse is a close second, nothing compares to the heart of this film.
That's a hit, baby.
That's a hit?
That's a hit.
All right. Peter Bauer says, if it's not Into the Spider-Verse, I'm unsubscribing.
It's a hit.
Oh, yeah. It's true. Emilio Esteban Fernandez, Spider-Man because of Macho Man Randy Savage. He says he's totally joking, but I don't think he is.
Yeah. Do you think that joke would fly now? It wouldn't.
Which joke?
Well, okay, so what happens is Spider-Man goes to the wrestling cage.
Oh, it's a gay joke.
It's a gay joke.
No, you can't say that.
Yeah.
There's no way you can / should say that. But hey, 2002 is a different time, baby.
Yeah. Actually, is it a gay joke, Troy?
Yeah.
He just asked if his husband made for it. And he could genuinely believe his husband made him that outfit.
I guess, but it's kind of like tone.
Wow.
Because he's kind of saying it sarcastically. If he was to say, hey, like if I said to you, hey man, that's a really nice shirt. Did your husband make that? Can he make me one? You know what I mean?
That still sounds like you're making fun.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know how to say it then. Daniel Rowland says Spider-Verse, number 1, genuinely funny, gorgeous animation, diverse, progressive, social appeal.
Yeah, we get
touching
it, mate.
Stanley cameo, well plotted, etc., etc.
Whatever. Yeah, we get it. You like it. It's a hit, baby.
All right. Charlie Keenan says, this is a tough one. Big fan of all the movies, but Tobey Maguire trilogy was near the start of the superhero genre explosion. And although I do think Spider-Man 2 is the best, he's going to give it to the original one because of Green Goblin.
Oh, yeah. That's a hit.
Okay. Excellent. Jeremy Baylor says Spider-Man the original purely for crazy Defoe nostalgia.
Oh, yeah. That smile, man. It's the stuff of nightmares.
Troy Ellington says, can I get invited back to the chat?
No, mate.
It's got nothing to do with anything. But what's your favorite Spider-Man movie, Troy? Let me know. Charlie Keenan. No, you already said that. That's not even a thing. Chris Sutherland says Spider-Verse gave us every great Spider-Man woman without making it seem rushed or too much. Perfect movie.
I wouldn't say everything he said is correct, but it is a hit.
Yeah. Peter Bauer went on a massive rant.
Don't want to hear it.
About why it's Into the Spider-Verse.
Good on him, mate.
I did ask for why. Yeah. I didn't say that it needed to be short.
If you want to read it, jump onto our listener community.
It's on there somewhere. Luke Alexander says, I have no idea what this one is, but we'll give it a vote and then put up a picture of some really obscure like Japanese Spider-Man thing, which I would really want to see.
That's a hit.
Yeah, that's definitely a hit. Chris Vera, Spider-Verse, not even a question. Innovative filmmaking, great action, humor, heart, representation, the best. Adam Miller, you didn't rate it quick?
Hit, mate. You're jumping the gun.
Adam Miller says Spider-Man Homecoming, great Spider-Man and great villain in Vulture with Michael Keaton.
Hit, baby.
Samuel Anderson says Spider-Man has to be my favorite.
Which one?
Spider-Verse. No, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's just saying in general. Spider-Man has to be my favorite.
Last one.
No. I've got like 5 more left. Homecoming.
One more.
Marie Holt says Homecoming. Followed very closely by Spider-Verse. Jimmy
Leporati, mate.
Leporati. You've made me lose it. Homecoming for me. Bob Murphy says that he liked. Oh, it's really long.
Let's guess it. He liked Spider-Man 2, and that was shit.
He says he loved Homecoming. So You're wrong. Simon Ward says, does this include 70s TV movies? No, but it should because they're great.
No, they're not.
And Joey DiCarlo, this is the final one, all right? Stop looking at me like that. Joey DiCarlo says, Into the Spider-Verse was the best Spider-Man movie, captures the feel and heart of the character. The best. Homecoming is a close second.
Okay. Everyone got a hit this week except for one person.
Who was that?
Can't even remember because you read out 5,000 fucking names this week.
Hey, it's listener feedback, baby.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to have to put an asterisk on this. You're getting too out of control with listener feedback.
No, man.
I'm going to put you on a limit of 5.
No way.
Yeah, you have to pick.
Nah.
Yeah.
I pick nothing.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Listener feedback's cancelled because Troy can't get his shit together.
All right. That is it, though. Let us know what you think. If you haven't already, what is your favorite Spider-Man movie? That is the show, my friend. It is over.
In the meantime, if you want to access previous episodes and the other fantastic shows on our network, head to ccradio.com.au.
Absolutely do that. That is it for this week. We'll be back again next week with something else. Oh, you guys will like what's coming next week, I think.
Oh, what is it?
It's like a music-themed episode, perhaps.
Oh, yeah.
A little sneaky little...
Boy bands, baby.
You're dreaming, pal. That is it. Thanks for listening. As always, I'm Troy.
I'm Kay.
And this has been Comic Confidential.
Cheers.
Peace. You know, hey, here's the thing that we didn't actually even discuss.
What?
Out of the 4, well, we'll say 3 live-action Spider-Man that we've had, 2 have been British.
Yeah, they have.
Fun facts.
Who would have thought
Tobey
Maguire was British?
I couldn't tell. Couldn't tell by his chins. He's got American chins.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but
that sounds racist.
Yeah, probably, you know, like I don't mean to be rude, but Tobey Maguire is just ugly.
What are you going to do if you ever run into Tobey Maguire?
Fight him.
Fight him?
I'm going to fight him.
Yeah?
I'm going to fight him.
What if he's eating his spiders?
Well, it depends on how many spiders he's been eating. Like, so I'll be able to tell.
And
if he's bulked up a lot, yeah. I'll
just
know.
check his abs. Say, lift up your shirt.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, you got 12? Nah, I'm out.
12 abs.
Yeah, I'm out, pal. Look, I will fight anybody that doesn't like Emma Stone. And I will fight Tobey Maguire. They're the only people I'm fighting.
What if
I'm
Tobey
really a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah.
But I will fight all those people.
What if Tobey Maguire came up to you and said, I hate Emma Stone?
Oh,
That's a double fight.
That's a double fight.
That's a gangbang.
I'll fight him twice.